Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Chat. And today we're talking with Nadine Hanchar. And Nadine is a counselor, consultant, speaker, trainer since 1986. And she's recently become an international best-selling author. As a personality profiling expert, Nadine is a developmental, or actually is the developer of the PrEP personality process and the author of Knowing Me, Knowing You. The PrEP personality process, which offers incredible insights into ourselves and others and how our processing styles affect our personalities, relationships, communication, and life. She is proficient in the wide range of modalities and disciplines and has taught most of the therapies and techniques she uses. Nadine specializes in working with trauma, abuse, relationship issues, and communication. Her results-oriented approach is designed to resolve the root cause of issues. This allows the person, the couple, the family, or the organizations to go forward with a better quality of life. Welcome, Nadine.
Thank you, Brenda.
So our conversation today is going to be, what can I do if I think I'm being abused? And so many people are stuck in that trap that they don't know where to go, what they can do, how they can get out. And we've touched on all kinds of abuses and different types of how it's making you feel. But now I'm being abused, Nadine, and where can I go to get help?
Well, first of all, you need to realize that it's not your fault or your responsibility to fix the other person. It's not your fault that they're behaving in that way. And one of the things that I would suggest is that you get some form of help by either going to counseling or therapy. You might start off with your doctor. You could go to, there are often peer groups within the community. There's 24/7 phone, hotlines to call and talk to someone. If you're in a relationship and if you're in a marriage where you've got joint assets or children or things like that, then I suggest you also get some legal advice. And there are often, there's legal aid. There's, if you can't afford to go to a lawyer, you need to start to disengage from the situations of, and begin to set some personal boundaries. That's a really important key factor. I really recommend people exit the relationship if possible. To get away from that situation and that circumstance. And if there's violence involved, there are organizations. I know we have an organization here in Victoria called Bridges for Women. There's also shelters where women can go with their children, or men can go, depending on the situation. So leaving the relationship, I know that a lot of people think, well, we're going to get fixed. The thing is that in a lot of cases, and I'm not saying in all cases, because I have had some success with couples that have changed. Having said that, though, in many and most cases, what I find is that it's one person that wants to change, and the other person will often say they want to change, say they want to make it better. But when they come into counseling, really they're giving it lip service. And often they'll make the counselor wrong or the therapist wrong, or they'll say that they were picking on them, or that, and they won't go back, and those kinds of things. So generally they don't want to change the behavior. If they do want to change the behavior, then they need to go to therapy themselves. But I've even had people that have said that they're going to therapy and they're not really going to therapy at all. The partner that has said that they were going to go to therapy isn't actually going to therapy at all. Or they're going and again, all they're doing is complaining about the other person, not addressing their own issues. And so, you know, in most cases where there's abuse, particularly if it's a chronic and persistent situation, I would say that they really need to get out of the relationship.
Yeah.
Um, and,
I-
and
yeah.
you know, sometimes they need to get help before they get out of the relationship.
Yeah.
Um, but that's a really important thing to note. And of course, for a lot of people, that's a very scary, when I say that to get out of the relationship, that's a very scary thing for them.
Oh, it is. It is. I know that, I never sought help until after I was out of my marriage. And I say sought help because, my family doctor where I lived knew things, but there was no help. And when I left the marriage and I moved away and I got a new doctor, that's when I said to the doctor, I says, I think I need some help here. And so then they sent me to somebody, and then I started on that road of therapy, and I've used many different modalities of the therapy, and some of them have worked great and some of them haven't. And if they didn't work, I went on to the next thing because I thought, there's got to be more to life than what I was feeling. And getting away is, like you say, key, and it's not that easy to do that. And I know I tried several times to get away. And I mean, one time, I was on the Greyhound bus and he was running down the highway with a car and pulled in front of the Greyhound bus and forced it to stop and drug me off the bus by my hair. So I know that leaving is not an easy thing to do, but it's most necessary. We have services here. We have Adira, which used to be called the Edmonton Dream Center for Women, who they can take their children in and they can get help. And there's, I think, Rendell House and different organizations like that. So yeah, they can look up things, they can talk to their doctor, and get solutions and find out where people can go. But the big thing is they have to ask for it.
And the big thing is that they have to admit to themselves that this is not okay, that that they're being disrespected, that they're being undermined, that they're being controlled, that they're being overpowered, that they're living in fear, that they're not having a quality of life that they really want to have, or them and their children are not having the quality of life. And oftentimes people will do this for their children before they will do it for themselves. But the thing is that, and I'm not talking about couples who are just having some communication issues, or some maybe they're having difficulty in their sex lives, or I'm not, this is not what I'm talking about. I do couples therapy and I work with couples, and they can have great success in terms of couples therapy. I'm talking about situations where this is a pattern of control and power over another person, and they're walking on eggshells, or they're living in fear, and they're feeling unworthy and helpless, and always like they're the ones in the wrong. They need to give themselves time to heal. And I mean, you can start to heal before you leave. And quite often, this is important to do, because in order to get the strength to leave, quite often people need to go to some form of help. Yes. And there's lots of different ways of doing it. There's no one way is the right way. There are many different approaches. There are many different types of therapy. There are many different modalities. Everything from, even getting proper nutrition can help you to think better, right down to, body work, or any, there's a lot of different things that can help you. I do suggest, though, that you try and find someone that is going to work with how you're thinking, and to give you feedback on the fact that, the feelings that you're having, the ideas that you're having are correct. We often intuitively know that something, that we're right. It's another form of abuse is when that that they're lying, and yet they're telling you that you're crazy, and
I got that one.
and so you really need to understand that the feelings that you're having, you need to have somebody that's able to say to you what they're saying and what they're doing and how they're disrespecting you is wrong, and that you deserve better. And people do.
Yeah, my ex-husband, when I left him, I mean, he didn't know it was coming. And after I had left him and he figured that part out, he said, I should have known something was up when you changed your hair. I thought, okay, well, I guess I was on that path of healing myself, because I was becoming a totally different person. I had changed my hair. I was doing everything completely opposite of what I normally had done. So that was quite interesting when he said that. And I thought, yeah, okay, I changed my hair and that was that. But anyway, thank you very much, Nadine, for your chat today. And if you have any questions, please put it in the comments and we will answer any of your questions in the following segments. And please remember that this does not replace your existing therapy if you're in therapy, or your existing counseling. This is a knowledge based conversation so that you understand what is happening. And if you're having feelings of anxiety and you're overwhelmed and self-worth and things like that, it's not just you. Yeah, there are extenuating circumstances that are probably happening in your home life that are affecting this. So again, this is knowledge, and knowledge is key. And it's better than surfing the internet to find out that you're dying from the spotted goat disease, type of stuff. So and again, any questions, comments, please put it in the comments below and we will talk soon. Thank you very much, Nadine.
Thank you, Brenda.